Hi, welcome to Mondays with Dale. Something that a couple of my affiliates came up with a name, and it kind of stuck. And I got to admit, now I kind of like it. It's a chance for me to get together with all of you and create a family type atmosphere. Okay. The important thing about this meeting every Monday is, number one, I want us to all feel part of one community, one family. Feel comfortable that if we have a question or we have a concern or some objective that we're trying to reach that we're having trouble with, that we have somebody we can reach out to and ask for help, okay? And I hope while we're doing this, you get to listen to some of the speakers we have, and it just brings us all closer together. We realize that we're all part of a giant family. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, but the core thing is we want everyone to succeed, okay? The only reason you can fail in this business is if you quit, okay? Because we're not gonna quit on you. You have to quit on yourself. So don't ever do that, okay? So that's the major reason. Also, we have this to keep people up to date and keep the communication flowing. A business, no matter what business it is, without proper communication, without keeping people informed, is destined to fail. You know, we have to have a place to go or multiple places to go to learn about what's going on in the business, learn how other people have overcome obstacles. Everything that you need can happen here in some of the other meetings that I'll mention while I'm chatting here. So again, communication, so important. And I'm gonna share my screen just for a second. I always told, first of all, I always tell people that they should, if they get in this business, they should immediately download WhatsApp for the European and African and South American markets, especially. Telegram is where we get our corporate information from. Obviously, you want to have Zoom so you can be on a call like this. And Facebook, we have tons of Facebook groups, and we have lots of YouTube videos. But I'm just going to share my screen, and I want to show you something we've created that we think will help you a little bit more. We have let me cancel that out quick. We have this thing that we created. One of my affiliates, Barb DeZetis, built for me, and it's a place to go where you can get some information about our company, about me, and about the connections you need to be successful. And we'll just go really over it quick. I mean, at this home page, that we try to keep some up-to-date stuff on there just so you can see what's been going on, opportunity videos, whatnot, just things that can keep you up to date. We have an opportunity blog. We have a little thing here that talks about who is Dale. It tells a little bit about myself so you know who you're working with. But the important thing is connections. Connections brings you to this page, which makes everything easy for you. You can subscribe to my email list. You can connect to Telegram. You can chat with me on WhatsApp. You can follow me on Facebook, or you can join any one of these Facebook groups, the Win Network, Win Testimonials, Team We. The Win Network and Win Testimonials is directly the group directly below Chris Robinson, who we're going to be listening to today. Team We is part of Chris Bailey's group. Chris is out of Maryland, and or his team's out of Maryland. He's now living in Fort Lauderdale, making good on some of the promises he made himself when he got into this business. And so these are people and teams you can reach out to and learn stuff from. I mean, just listening, watching their conversations going back and forth, you can learn a lot. And if you have questions, you can ask questions, and that somebody will help answer you, and usually in a very timely fashion. You can follow My Daily Choice on Facebook just by clicking that button there. And then the one that I kind of like is this one here, subscribe. Where are we here? Subscribe to on YouTube, okay? If you go to the YouTube one, and we have it set right to videos, these are all the videos that we have done since I've started this. Some of them are specific. You can see some of them are about product training. There's one on product training for Mantra, one for sprays. There's Jermaine's on here today, and there's one back on what was it, the 19th of April. Jermaine spoke. Adrian spoke in here. I mean, Cyrus Mathu, the manager of the East Africa group. So many different interviews here that can help grow your business. So you can come in here and you can easily go through them at your leisure, pick the ones you want to watch, pick parts of someone that one of them that you want to watch. Maybe you just want to watch a piece of one of them. They're all here and they're here on a regular basis. So easy access for you. So again, we just created this again to have a way for people who missed a meeting, missed a call, missed an interview that they really wanted to see. They're all here, okay? So let me get back out of this. And stop screen. Okay, so I see more people have come on. Welcome everyone. Again, all that is there to help you guys as far as having a way to connect. You can also reach me on my personal phone number, which is good for WhatsApp, messaging, any way you want to reach me. And that is 1-802-343-9075. I'll say that one more time, 1-802-343-9075. And obviously you can reach me on facebook.com/DaleFranklin.378. So again, we try to create something that gives you all the access you need to grow this business with the help of anybody you choose to help you. Jody Levanway, who works with me as one of my affiliates, she also sends out, once you've joined my groups, she will send you out some information on how to join the rest of the groups, the easy way to get into some of the apps if you have trouble with that. She has lists of groups that you can join and how to download them and get into them. And she posts daily postings each night that tells you what's going on the next day. So you're always going to have access to what is current, okay? So that's that. Next thing, meetings. Again, there's this meeting every Monday. The Win Network with Adrian in South Africa. He has meetings I believe 4 out of the 5 days a week, and he's always adding more. So just reach out and chat with Adrian through his groups, and he can do some great things for you. We obviously do 3-way calls anytime. All you need to do is schedule them with any of the leaders, usually a couple days in advance because we are busy, but if there's a spot sooner, we'll certainly be able to put you in that spot. Coming up, Super Saturdays. The first Saturday of every month, Lennon Ledbetter's group has a Super Saturday Zoom call. It lasts about 90 minutes. It's primarily for training and recognition. You're going to get 3, 4, 5 different leaders that are going to speak for 10 to 15 minutes each. So it kind of breaks it up. So you're not going to sit there and just listen to one person. You're going to listen to a lot of different people giving you different types of training, different types of concepts of how they're building the business. What else? The annual convention. We finally got a dead set date for that. It's going to be October 21st through the 23rd. It's at the MGM Grand Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. It's going to, you want to mark your calendar. Okay, here's some things you guys want to pay attention to. They're going to open ticket buying on June 1st. Okay, the last time we had a convention, I believe there was over 4,000 people. I understand this convention, 6,000 people. Okay, Chris corrected me, 6,000 people. This one is only going to have 1,400 people, and I understand. So it's going to disappear fast. I mean, I'm going to be up at midnight on June 1st to make sure that I can get in just as soon as possible. But you can have up to two. You can have two tickets. First come, first served. When they're gone, they're gone. And I tell you guys, they're $99. I believe they're $99 a piece. You should reserve your 2 tickets just as early on June 1st as you can, because I anticipate by noon on June 1st, they're going to be gone. They might be gone by 8 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? But the important thing is, no one has ever wished that who's gone to convention wished they hadn't gone, and they always wish they'd invited more of their team. No one has ever wished they had less people there. So you want to make sure that you get people proactive on this. Don't wait until June 1st or June 2nd to promote this. You want to be doing it right now, okay? Because I tell you, my gut feeling says that within just a few hours, they're going to be gone. So be aware of that and seriously think about coming, because this is where you can really kick off your business. Couple little quick things here. There's some special regions that are getting ready to open that I think many people from here should be paying attention to. Uganda and Kenya. Of course, Kenya is coming on strong. Uganda is making a name for itself right now. We put an office there, and we feel very strongly about what's going to happen over the next few months. And we're getting ready to open Ukraine. So if you have a lot of Africans, I understand, went to school, especially Northern Africans went to school for college in Ukraine through a special program they had. So there's a lot of connections between the two countries. So if you have friends who know people in Ukraine, or maybe you know people in Ukraine yourself, be prepared. That's going to be opening very, very soon. So that's it for updates. Now we get to the part you guys have been waiting for rather than listen to me. I want to introduce our guest speaker for today. Many of you know him, but I think I see a lot of people here that might not. He is the first affiliate in My Daily Choice. He's a super affiliate. He's a rancher. He has owned a trucking company. He still owns a construction company. He still owns a construction company. And the thing I love about him is he's a strategic thinker and doer. You know, there's a lot of people that think about how they can do things and how things could be done to be done the right way and all this and that, but it's just talk. They never get to the end result. He gets to the end result. He's a doer. He's not afraid to roll up his sleeves and get to work. He goes by, one of his names is the Cannabis Cowboy. I've known him for over 10 years. I consider him a true friend and definitely a business mentor of mine. And I'm just so happy that he can be on this call. Chris, are you here?
I am here, Dale. Can you hear me good, man?
I hear you great. Welcome to the call.
Awesome. It's great to be here.
So Chris, you know how I've set these up? It's more of a kind of a conversation, but we've now kind of evolved it into we'll have a little bit of a conversation, then I'm going to give you 20 minutes to a half hour, whatever you want, to kind of give what you feel is the important training that this group needs. But to start out with, there are several people here that I see that haven't met you before. So I would like you to start off by just kind of giving us the cliff notes on how you got into network marketing and bring us up to date.
Oh, man, that's a long ways back. So first of all, before I get started on this, I just got to say amen to what Dale said about making sure you're getting them convention tickets, because there's a 1,400 capacity because there's still some COVID regulation stuff going on in Las Vegas. So it's still going to be a massive room, but they're going to let us put 1,400 people in that same size of room at the MGM Grand. So make sure on June 1st you get that ticket, because I know people's going to reach out and say, Chris, grab me a ticket. I cannot. My daughter's mad at me that's an affiliate right now because I'm getting me and her mother a ticket and she's got to go get her own. So make sure you get that done on June 1st, because I believe it's a 24-hour deal. I don't think there'll be any left on June 2nd. So be paying attention to that. So back to your question, Dale. And Dale, thanks for doing these calls and your leadership and everything, man. It's really refreshing to work with a guy like yourself. That's the same way I am. You do what you say you're going to do, and you lead with honesty and integrity. So thank you for that. So my story is I got involved into network marketing about 14 years ago now. And I got involved in a startup company that had no website. They had no office yet. They were just moving into a space in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I always kind of avoided network marketing because I grew up in an Amway house. I mean, my mom and dad was in Amway for 30 years. I think they made about $1.47, not a year, in all 30 years. And I seen them sacrifice a lot of time, energy, money to go to conventions, things like that. And I just never could understand it growing up. And I'm sharing this story with you to set up this next part. There's a guy's name was Dennis that would come over to our house every single Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. For years he did this. And he'd set up a whiteboard in the living room. We knew when Dennis showed up, it was the kids' cue to go to the bedroom and turn in early that night because mom and dad was having friends over. Sometimes 4 or 5 people would come. Sometimes nobody would come. But Dennis would run through the same presentation, drawing circles on whiteboards. And after a few years of this, I was getting older. I finally said, can I sit through one of these? I want to see this presentation. And so I watched it. And I remember asking this guy, and he was talking about how he'd made millions of dollars and all this. And, you know, I grew up, my dad was very blue collar, hard work, early to rise, last to bed, work day, sun up to sundown, sweat your guts out all day, and things will just happen because you work hard. And so I'm sitting there seeing this rich guy that's self-proclaimed rich, not sweating, drawing circles on a board, and then going home, and he's there for about an hour, and he's telling me he's making millions of dollars. So now I'm going, well, I wonder if this guy knows more than what this guy and my dad's teaching me and what to do later on in life. And so finally one day I asked him, I said, hey, how did you get rich in this business? He says, I understand one thing. He says, I understand this is a people business and it's a numbers business. So all I do is I show as many people as I possibly can this presentation. And over the last 8 or 9 years, I've showed 1,350 people, I've done this presentation 1,350 times. He says, sometimes there's one person, sometimes there's 500. He says, but I understood it was a numbers game. He said, out of those 1,350 presentations, I signed up 204 personally sponsored people. Out of the 204 personally sponsored people, 11 of those people actually did anything. And out of those 11, 3 of them made me filthy rich. And that state, I was 14 or 15. I wasn't over when I heard, and it's still with me to this day as I'm approaching my 40s. Like that stuck with me. So I go on through life. I avoid network marketing like it's a coronavirus. I want nothing to do with it. I start my own construction business very young, become pretty successful. And you know how we're always training in network marketing. Go after successful people. Go out. So, well, we're not the only company that does that. That actually works industry wide. And so I was heavily recruited all the time. My sisters, my brothers would get into different companies. I was actually letting my sister for years use my home on Tuesday nights to do her home meetings because it was nicer than hers. And the company was telling her, make sure you find a nice house to do your home meetings, which I don't believe in, but that's how they did it. And so I'd let my sister use me and my wife would take the kids to dinner. They'd do a network marketing event at my house and I'd come home and it was done. I just stayed away from it. But anyways, when I found a company, you know, later on in life, I had a big construction company, and I'll just tell you, it was actually a company that sold a fuel treatment to save money on gas and fuel. And I had a big fuel bill. I had backhoes and semis and trucks and just had it all for my construction company. And in 2008, keep in mind, I've been recruited in. You guys talk to people sometimes and they tell you no once or twice and you give up. People have been trying to recruit me into network marketing for 10 years at this point. 10 years. And finally, fuel prices, if you remember right, in 2008, hit almost $5 a gallon here in the US. And I'm sure in your respective markets, it was just unaffordable as well. And so I've seen this product. I started using it. It saved me money on my fuel. I went back to my friend that introduced me to it. And I asked him, how much does it cost me to buy the rights to this product for the Utah and Idaho, which is the 2 states I live by. I live in Idaho, which is right by Utah. And he said, I can't sell you the rights to those 2 states, but I can sell you the rights to the globe for $700. I'm like, what? $700? I've saved more than that on fuel in a month. I mean, the product's worth more than that. He's like, no, it's he says, we have a compensation plan. You get paid to bring people in. I'm going, hold on, timeout, red flags. Like my radar's going off. And I'm like, I want nothing to do with this if it's one of those companies. But he was smart enough to say, well, let's at least go to lunch about it. Before you blow it off, just give me some time to talk to you about it. I'm like, okay. So I get in his car and we hit the freeway. We pass all the restaurants, drive clear through town. Next thing I know, we're on a freeway and we're headed for a 2-hour drive to Salt Lake City. And I thought I was going around the corner to get a hamburger. And he's like, I'm going to go take you down and introduce you to the owners. Anyway, so I go meet the owners. And it starts to make sense to me. I'm like, yeah, I think this could work and it's new. And I get all excited. anyways, I get started in that company. I really crushed it. I mean, my first few weeks in the company, I think I sponsored about 200 people. My first night, I sponsored over 100, and I'm like, man, this works. I can't believe I've stayed away from it my whole life. But the point of that is you have to understand it's all timing for people, right? You can talk to somebody today that's going to be so against this business, but a month from now, they're not going to be. So when people tell you no, I just believe them, because no means not right now. So just keep your nose and circle back with them. If somebody tells me no, I just say, look, first I'll ask them if they know if there's a few people that they know that might be interested in what we're talking about. And then I get a list of people. And then I also tell them, is it all right if I circle back with you in 30 or 60 days, just to kind of update you on what's going on with the company? Everybody always says yes. So you always have a complete circle of people to talk to. So anyways, thank God people understood this principle. I never would have got into network marketing. So I joined the company. We're doing awesome things. I end up within a few months putting on the advisory council of the company. I hit all the big ranks in the company, become I was in the number 1, number 2 earner spot all the time in that company, getting all the awards, achieving all the things. And every time there was a different event or a convention, they did recognition. I was always the last one on stage getting that top award. Then about a year and a half in, that changed. I was at a convention. It was actually in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I remember I got my award and I walked off stage. And for the first time ever, when I walked off after getting my award, the award ceremony was not over, which means somebody else has done something greater than what I had accomplished. And I remember as I was walking off the stage, they announced that somebody had hit the top pin level in the company. And they're talking about this guy, actually kid, they're saying he's 19 years old. He's from Baltimore, Maryland. He's only been in the business less than a year. He's passed everybody else in the company, yada, 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 yada. So I'm about half mad at this point, right? Because now I don't know who the guy is, but it ended up being on the opposite side of the company as me. I had no idea who he was. Back then, we weren't connected in Facebook. And hell, I set up email for the first time so I could get emails about people signing up into this company. I was not connected online at all. And so they announced that this guy's Josh Zweigel. And I'm like, what? Zweigel? What kind of name is that, first of all? And so I'm kind of upset. I kind of let my pride get at me, but he's sitting there and he's talking on stage. And I'm like, this guy's smart. Maybe it makes sense for me to, rather than be mad, celebrate his success. And maybe, just maybe, he'll give me some pointers on what he's doing to build on the internet and different things. And so when he came off stage, I introduced myself, and he was kind enough to sit down with me and my wife. He actually ended up coming out to the ranch that same weekend. We built a bond, and fast forward, him and I ended up launching several countries for the company. He built a team of over 50,000 people. Mine, I got to about 32,000 people. And we ended up working a lot together, even though we were cross-line. But then in 2014, something happened. For 6 years, let's see, 2008, 2014. Yeah, 6 years, I've been all over the world on stages telling people how we're the company that saves you money. We're not into lotions, potions, bulletproof pantyhose, yada, this whole spiel, right? Basically saying we're going to save you money, and that's all we need to do. Well, then fuel prices cut in half. That's where we realized being a one-trick pony is not good. They cut in half. Our product was not relevant anymore. You put $4 in your tank and save $3.50 instead of $12 because fuel prices dropped. So it just wasn't as an attractive product anymore. And the company decided to go into skincare. And I remember sitting in that meeting going, I have 30,000 truck drivers, mechanics, construction workers, and now you want me to sell them skincare. Are you kidding me? So it just didn't work for me. And the point I'm sharing the story with you for is because that company had pigeonholed itself into one avenue and then had to make a massive shift. The company had to do something. I don't blame them for doing something different. They had to do it. But it just wasn't for us. So Josh and I that day decided we was going to start looking for other companies. And then about 2 months later, after Josh had talked to leadership all over the world, so would I. owners, CEOs, COOs. We just got out there, and of course, we was being heavily recruited by companies because they knew we were out looking. And finally, after getting frustrated about not being able to find something that felt right, Josh called me and he said, "Hey, I have a plan and I want to start my own network marketing company." And I'm like, "Man, you just went from the smartest friend I have to the dumbest friend I have with one sentence, just like that." And he's like, no, hear me out. Keep in mind, Josh, he's never been certified, but I think if they did, he would be a certified genius. He was actually in the top 100 in the World Chess Federation as a teenager. And he's just very intellectually smart. So I've always teased him about how he's my smart friend and the smartest guy I know. And so when he told me he's launching a company, I'm like, "Man, you're crazy. Why would you want to be corporate? Why would you want to fight all that fight?" And he says, "That's exactly why." He says, "Because I know what works in network marketing. I know what doesn't work. And now that I've had the experience of the field, I think we should take the experience of the field into a corporate environment." And then I said, "Okay, what are you going to name the company?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, we're off to a good start." And I said, what's the products, compensation plans?" Like, "I don't know. I'm figuring all that out now." Well, lo and behold, just 10 days, maybe 2 weeks later, he calls me back and he says, "I want to name the company My Daily Choice." And I'm like, "Well, that don't have the," usually it's some, European slang word or Spanish slang word or something that has some pizzazz to it. I'm like, "Well, explain that to me." He says, "Well, I want a company that people feel like they own. That's where my comes from. I want them to have ownership in this of what we're doing here." He says, "I want to have not just one product, but a bunch of products that people want to use on a daily basis. We want to have highly consumable products that people are looking for." He says, and then choice goes right back to what we were just talking about. "I want to build the Amazon of network marketing. I want to have health and wellness products. I want people to be able to travel at discounted rates. I want to have the most sexy, effective, affordable products that's in the consumer goods space. And so I want to have people to be able to have choices. And we're never going down one path. We will be an open-ended brand. And that's where the choice came from." I still get goosebumps telling that. I got goosebumps right now because when he told me that, I'm like, man, I was like, ding, 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 ding. We got a winner here. If you can pull this off, Josh, we're going to make some big noise in this industry. He's like, "But I'm not done yet." He says, "I'm going to make a compensation plan that pays higher than any other compensation plan in the industry." And at that time he was talking, "I think I can pull off 70%. I think I can pull off 72%. And then he launches, and as you all know, it's 85% of all of our business volume back to the field. And then, then he said something that really shocked me because he knows me really well at this point. He knows my secretary does the email. I don't even type. Like if I type in this chat, it's 2 fingers and it takes me like 5 minutes to say, "Happy to be here with you all today." So I just don't type in chats. I still don't. I can text pretty good. But Josh knows I'm technologically at this point, not advanced at all. And he said, "I'm going to build a system, Chris Robinson, that even you can become a millionaire using." I'm like, "Now I know you're full of it because that ain't going to happen." He's like, "No, I can make it that simple." I'm like, "Prove it." Well, lo and behold, now we have the marketing system. And that was really the first conversation of My Daily Choice. And that's what got me excited. So I resigned. We go start working on this company. And we launched with 3 products, Peak, Boost, and Shield. We had a pretty good first few months because it's all hypey. Everybody's excited about the new company. And then we start hitting the growing pains of startups and different things and getting customer service, acquisition stuff, and all that stuff done. And Josh navigated those waters perfectly. I was impatient. I'm like, "Dude, this isn't going fast enough. We got to get bigger growth. We're not getting rich yet, yada, yada, yada." He's like, "Stay the course. I promise you, we're going to make this happen." And then because of the way we launched and started this business, you understand in 2014, CBD really wasn't a thing. I mean, it existed, but it was not a topic of conversations anywhere. So we had no idea we were going into HempWorks. But because Josh was so smart when he started this company, we was able to pivot very quickly, not pivot, but add another vertical, another brand. So now we had sprays and we had our HempWorks line. And then you fast forward, a few years later, 2014, who's seen crypto coming, right? It's a big thing now, but because of our branding, we can now we have our AkashX educational platform, which is brilliant, incredible. People are loving it. So I share that story with you because look, the sky is the limit here. Whatever happens, I can tell you, I'll be honest with y'all right here on this call. 5 years from now, I don't even know what we're going to be selling here, but it's going to be hot and people's going to love it and we're going to want it. You're going to want it. But as the world changes and technology changes, Josh is so smart and so young and so ahead of most of the world that he can pivot into these things. And as a chess master, he's always 10 steps ahead of the rest of the people in the world when it comes to business and different things. So I can't impress upon you enough how excited I am, not about just what's happening right now with My Daily Choice, but what the future holds. Because it's limitless, it's endless. I mean, we just launched a clothing line, Hemp Mama. No doubt in my mind, that clothing line, when we open it up in the next few weeks, is going to sell out. How many of us thought we'd be looking at hemp clothes? Like, I mean, seriously, I never thought that. I seen it roll. As a matter of fact, Dale was there so was Phil at the event last weekend. And I know what the brand's coming. Josh told me what it was months ago. And for months, I'm thinking in my mind, what can they possibly make out of hemp that would feel good to wear and would be, fashionable and attractive and different things. And like, I'm waiting for these runway models to come out wearing burlap sacks or something. I had no idea what to expect. And then bam, the lights turn on and the runway models come out. And I'm like, holy cow, that's some good stuff. And then my wife, she's the fashion queen. She's always yelling at me, Chris, you've dressed the same since I met you 24 years ago. I'm like, well, that's just me. I'll always dress the same. But she's always on top of fashion and different things. And I look over and she's sitting right by me and she's like standing up. I'm like, is this stuff good? She's like, yeah, that's incredible. I'm like, well, if you love it, I got to love it, because if you approve, everybody's going to approve. And then we was able to feel the fabrics and different things and learn about it. Anyways, it's just incredible what our potential is here at My Daily Choice. Yes, we became the fastest growing network marketing company in the world. We've indicted about 14 or 15 different people into the 7-figure club now. We've helped thousands of people change their lives financially, millions of people change their lives physically through our products. And the good news is we are just getting started. And I can't wait to see what happens. So that's where I don't have the story that I've been in 30 different network marketing companies. I don't have the story of I had this company do this and that company do that. I will say this though, because of how Josh and I exited our previous company, we didn't go headhunting for leadership. We didn't try to tear the old company apart. Matter of fact, I stayed friends with the owners for years, but because of that relationship, just a couple of years ago, that company actually came to us and said, hey, we'd like to be a part of what you're doing. And they all brought everything into My Daily Choice. So technically, I've only ever been a part of one network marketing company in my whole entire life. And if people, I'm in the very top of the 1% of earners in network marketing. And people say, how? That's how. I stayed put, I stayed focused, I stayed committed, I stayed passionate, and I stayed the course. You can't make it big being in 5 deals or in 3 different deals a year, or every time one person leaves the business, you try to follow them out to the next shiny ball object. Plant your flag with people that's planted their flag, and you're going to win. Just like Dale said at the first of this call. And this applies industry-wide. There's quite a few good companies in network marketing. People leave them and they don't win because they left. The only way you fail is if you quit. If you never quit, you're going to win. And you also have to understand that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes time. If you've been with this for 3 weeks and you're frustrated because you haven't made a bunch of money yet, well, guess what? Most people don't until the magic happens. It's a personal growth journey. It's your journey. They're all different. But at the end of the day, if you sacrifice the same amount of sacrifice that you're doing right now to go to work 40 hours a week, or to maybe 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. If you put that same kind of energy and effort into what we do here at My Daily Choice, you're definitely on a 2 to 5 year plan, not on the 40-year plan that you're on going to work. So network marketing is not perfect. It's just better. And it's the best way to do it. So anyways, Dale, that's kind of my background in network marketing. Like I said, I don't have 30 different companies I could relate to or anything like that, but I do have a very good run that's been a big blessing to my family and a lot of people around me. And I believe it's all about consistency, staying loyal, and staying put.
Oh, I love that. I love your story. I love the history of how you got in this business. I can honestly say the same thing. I've only been in one network marketing company. I was in Amway years and years ago when I was like 19 for about 6 months. Just didn't like the chemistry of it. But other than that, I got into the company we both were in to begin with, and then eventually that company merged with My Daily Choice. So I can honestly say that I never left the company. And and that's the thing about My Daily Choice. And you said much of this, but it's so true. It's a debt-free company. And because it's a debt-free company, and I've been in business, I've owned 8 businesses in my life. And the one thing that always controls how fast you can grow is your damn bank. You'll want to do something. They say, well, we don't think you should do that right now. And that used to irritate me because I'm out there. I know what the market is for what I'm doing. And these guys, the bankers might be somebody that graduated high school, got a job as a teller and worked his way up to a loan officer and has no real world experience, but he's telling me what I can and can't do. And that used to drive me nuts. But with our company is debt free. So we don't have to have some banker telling us what to do. If we see a product that we want to switch to, or we find that we've made a mistake with a product and we need to get out of it, we can do it without having to ask any bank or anybody what we have to do. And because of that, we can be nimble. We can be ahead of the overall market as far as what's going on, because we can change quickly. We can add quickly. And anybody here who's ever had a business of their own knows the importance of being able to be that way. Chris, when you had with your construction company, I'm sure you've had to deal with bankers, and sometimes they help you and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they hold you back from doing something that you want to do desperately. And you look back at it 2 years from then and say, I would have made a fortune of that, but my bankers won't let me do it. So again, we have that. You add that to the fact that our owners are young, and you guys have all heard me say this before, they're young. They have a young family. They're looking to build a legacy for themselves and their children. And whenever we talk about things with them, it's always what we're going to be doing 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now with this company. So we're a company that's going to be around a long time. And as Chris said, all you have to do is stick the course. And I love what you said about 2 to 5 years. We all we graduate from high school or college, we get a job, and we plan on working until we're old enough to retire. It doesn't have to be that way. And it wasn't that way, many years ago. It's just we've been programmed that that's what we have to do. There's nothing wrong with working hard for 2 to 5 years and then taking the rest of your life and enjoying it. And that's what our goal is in this type of business. So Chris, you talked about the Vegas Mastermind. You talked about the Hemp Mama line. And there was a lot of excitement there. There was a lot of leaders there. There were people speaking that, brought you right out of your seat on several occasions. What is the one thing that you kind of got from that really excited you going forward to the next big meeting?
So my favorite part of the mastermind?
Yeah.
Question. Man, that's a hard question because there was so much good stuff.
Yep.
Maybe it was the open bar at the dinner. I'm just kidding. But no, I'll say for me, my favorite part about that mastermind was there was people in a room once again from all over the world. There were people that couldn't get there because of COVID. We had some South Africa couldn't come in. We had some European stuff that couldn't come in, but there was some people from Latin America and different parts around the world. And to be able to sit live in a room again with people that are passionate about the same thing that you are, that was the part that got me excited again, because I'm an event guy. I love spending time with people. I never did a Zoom call. I don't think ever, really ever, until COVID hit. I mean, I've always been, you know, when I first got in network marketing, and this is where I had a lot of success, is Josh actually did a training on this, Dale, you remember it. I started by doing home meetings. That's what I did. I'd have as many people to my home as possible. Let's say 5 people showed up. I'd do a presentation. 1 or 2 of them would sign up. And right then when they sign up, we would schedule their first home meeting, which was usually within 72 hours. So we're going living room to living room to living room to living room every night, doing different home meetings. Sometimes people have 20 people, 50 people. I've been in home meetings without 100 people. I built a room onto my house eventually, so my home meetings could hold 250 people. And then we would build from that into a super Saturday where we would do a training event live somewhere in the country or in the world. And then we would build from that into international corporate conventions. And just being able to get the energy in those rooms is just second to none. So to answer your question, outside of all the phenomenal speakers that we had, outside of Josh and Jenna speaking and we actually had a new product launch, which is coming this summer. You know, we've taken cannabis and essential oils and combined them into one product. They're actually sitting right here, the Synergy sprays. They're awesome. Like, we're using them now. And, but outside of all those things, for me, it was the energy and to see people still just as excited or more excited about what we're doing here than the last time I seen them a year and a half ago. Through all the negativity in the world, through all the politics and the COVID and everything that's been going on throughout the world, to be able to see that network marketing is a bright light in the future, that was what I was most excited about when I left that event. So that was it for me, Dale.
Very similar to what I got. You know, looking around the group of people that were there, and you get people from every walk of life. You get people that had nothing, that were just down and out as far as places I couldn't even imagine when they tell their story. And they were able to pull themselves out of those holes with network marketing. And then there's other people that were already successful, either in network marketing or in other businesses, and they took and ran with this thing. So I don't care what walk of life you have. I don't care where you're from, who your parents were, how you were raised. I don't care about any of that. If you want to be successful in this business, after going to these meetings, I can tell you can be, because I've seen people just like you that have succeeded. So we talked about, Chris, as far as training, I know I've loved some of your training over the years, as far as different things that you've done that that made me think along a line that I wasn't even thinking about. Do you have anything today that you'd like to emphasize?
Yeah, so I'll just share with you like what clicked in my mind that took years. And I hope you guys don't take years to do this, but literally years. And when I say years, I'm talking, this is recent history for me. I spent so much time worrying about what people thought about me that I didn't spend enough time doing self-development to worry about that I liked me. At the end of the day, if you don't feel like you deserve this, if you don't feel like you have the right to have this happen for you, it never will. Personal development has become a bigger and bigger thing in my life all the time, as of recent. You know, I seen a thing that said, so many people walk around with a sign on their forehead trying to make people like them, that they need to take the sign off and stick it on their mirror. Because at the end of the day, your network marketing is a personal growth journey with a compensation plan attached. And the only way your compensation grows is if you grow. Your commissions will never outgrow you. Even if you're making 50 grand a month or 200 grand a month, if you don't keep growing, your commissions won't grow. And the good news about this industry is it can only do 2 things. It can only grow or it can die. The bad news about this industry is it can only do 2 things. It can only grow or it can die. And the other good thing is the only thing in the way of you growing is you. But again, the only bad thing in the way of, and it's really this simple, of you growing or not, is you. So all you can really do is stay close to the fire, stay close to the people on this team, in this company, that's doing the daily activities to move forward one step at a time, and stay close to that fire and stay plugged in, and to work on yourself, and the rest will all just fall into place. I was able to get to $30,000 or $40,000 a month in this industry based on the God-given talent of salesmanship. I don't know why I was born with it. I dropped out of high school at 15. Nobody taught me how to sell. I've just always been able to do it. But I was stuck there for years and even went backwards. But I could never get into that six-figure a month stuff until I fixed me and worked on me. And then I was able to go, okay, I've learned these things. Now I can go help other people. But your cap might be $500 a month with what you have, or it might be 100,000 or 1,000, whatever that cap is. Unless you keep growing, your commission's not going to grow either. So I like that fact about this industry, because I had a mentor tell me when I was about 22 years old, and I was only doing construction, and he was a multi-millionaire. He actually was an investor that would invest money with me into building homes. And then when we was done, the investor would make all the money and I would break even. I'm like, I got to become the money man. How do I do that? And he told me, he said, Chris, there's no doubt in my mind, you can be a millionaire by the time you're 30. I was 22 at this time. And I said, how? He said, I've spent some time with you. He says, all you have to do is look at who you're spending time with. So what do you mean? He says, tell me the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I told him. He says, I know you have to guess. You might not have the answers. He says, tell me what their incomes are. So we listed out all 5 incomes, and then he divided it by 5, and he wrote the number on the piece of paper, and he handed it to me. He said, is that your income? I said, that's exactly what I make a year. He says, there's a circle of 5 influence. You got to surround yourself with more. You're surrounded by good people, but you got to surround yourself with wealthy people with vision and different mindset than the employee mentality. And he told me, I'll be one of those people for you, and I'll introduce you to more. And by the time that was 22, by the time I was 25, I had made my first $1 million in a year. Based on that one conversation from that guy. That's why I like network marketing. You guys are on a call right now, and just on my front screen, you have Dale Franklin, Jermaine Johnson, Phil Reynolds. I can't see the rest. There's a whole bunch of other, but all these people have done it, and they're continue to do it, and they're in your circle, but you have to plug in with those people. And you got to quit believing the noise that's out there and believe the noise that's right here in this room in front of you right now, because this is where you need to go. Not out there, not where the negativity is, not what you're feeding your mind with all the junk and different things coming in from the TV, but right here with people. You understand, I'm not on this call right now to make money. I'm on this call right now because I know how to help you make money. My whole goal is for everybody on this call, everybody that believes and has their flag planted My Daily Choice, to hit whatever level of success they want to hit. It might be pay your light bill. Maybe you want to make an extra $1,000 a month. Maybe you want to make 2. Maybe you want to make $1 million a year. Whatever that is, that's what I'm here for. But I can't do it for you. You have to take your own action. And every single successful person will tell you their success pivoted with they can remember the day, the time, the place of that one decision they made that changed everything for them. So if nothing else comes from this call, make this call be that decision for you. And I hope, a year from now, when you're walking across stage at a My Daily Choice convention as a 7-figure earner, you go, you know what? I was on a call with Chris. I remember it was a Monday call with Dale. It was in May, and we were talking about making that choice. And I made that choice that day to go get more personal development, to work on myself, and to stay plugged in. And because I did that, I'm walking across this stage now. So that's my hope for all of you after this call, is that you can make that decision. No matter where you're at in the world, you got to make it. It all starts with that decision. So with that, Dale, anything else you want me to talk about? I don't know how long we're getting close to the hour.
I tell you, you always fire me up so much. I'm ready to sign up again.
I'll send you a link. I'd love to have 2 Dales.
You know, so many things you said, you know, about this business. I love network marketing for certain things. If you help a lot of people succeed, you automatically succeed. I never worry about myself, and I know you don't either. If you help enough other people succeed, you're going to automatically succeed. And that is so great about this type of business, opposed to corporate America, where, you know, or corporate anywhere, where, you know, the guy who's your boss is never going to want you to be seen as really good, because it might put his job at risk. You know, in this business, if somebody's it's in your group becomes more successful than you are, great. I mean, you're so happy. I mean, you walk down the street going, you see that guy over there? He's a 500K affiliate. He's my 500K affiliate. I'm a 250K affiliate, but I got a 500K affiliate that's on my team. You know, I mean, do you think that bothers somebody? No, they're proud of it. So between that and, you know, something else you said, and I try to train on this a lot. So many people are afraid of success. If you really, you won't admit it to yourself, but you need to look in a mirror and say, am I holding myself back? Am I afraid that I don't have the tools and the skill? If I suddenly signed up 2 or 3 superstars, could I maintain them? Could I train them? Could I do everything I need? And the thing I'm going to tell you is you don't need to. There are so many leaders in this company above you in this business that can help you. All you got to do is reach out to them. If you signed up 2 or 3 people that were already in network marketing, let's say, or already superstars in some other business, and they took and ran with this business and grew like crazy, you don't have to be intimidated by them. You just reach out to your uplines, to cross-line leaders, because we're all one big family, and just say, hey, I'm in over my depth. I need somebody to help me. And there's always going to be people that are going to help you. So do not be afraid of success. Look in the mirror. Like Chris said, look in the mirror, look right at yourself, you know, eyeball to eyeball, and say, I can do this. And if I can't, I have the power of knowing people that can. You know, that's all you have to bring into this. The last thing, Chris, we got a little bit more time. A couple quick, I had a question here earlier, said, is the product line, the hemp mama product line, coming to Africa? And it will be, but it just, you want to address that, Chris?
All I know is what I've been told. And when Josh Swagel, our CEO, rolled this out from stage, he said his most favorite thing about this product line is how fast it can go international, because the registrations don't have to happen that require the things like the sprays that go in your body and different things. So I know this, a lot of the reason he went with a clothing line fast was to get it international expedited, because a lot of times when we roll out, and you guys are all aware of this, we roll out new products, new things that might get ingested into our body. It takes time to get through all of our African markets and European markets, and to get all the registrations and everything done so that you guys can have access to those. So I believe this will be a brand that goes international faster than any other brand we've ever launched for that reason.
I agree with you. And you know, I have friends years ago, and I think they still do it to this day. There's such a demand for U.S. jeans, in, you know, the old torn jeans and stuff like that in France. He used to fill a suitcase full of old jeans, take them to France, sell them on the street until he got to know some people, buy himself a brand new wardrobe over there, and have enough money to pay for the flights over, his vacation, the whole 9 yards, selling old ratty jeans. I mean, so if that you can do that with stuff like like that, we can certainly take this hemp mama and just run with it. Last thing, Chris, from you is, we have some people here that are new, or at least they're new to me, on this call, and I thank you for coming, all of you. You're all welcome to be here anytime, whether you're in my team or not. We love to see people here. But somebody new, somebody just starting out, give them one tip on what you would, one piece of wisdom for a brand new network marketer.
So if you're brand new with the company, you need to set a proper expectation for yourself. Because if you don't have proper expectations, if somebody signed you up and told you you're going to be rich in June or July or August, you probably got fed wrong information. If you have proper expectations, this is the best way to become wealthy in the world. Network marketing has created more millionaires than any other industry in the world. Been that way for decades. It'll continue to be that way through all of our lifetimes. But if you have to understand, you're going to get told no. You have to understand you're going to put some work in and might feel like you're underpaid for that work, which is true. Because we're trained our whole lives, get an education, get a job, get a check. So you punch in on Monday, you punch out on Friday, you get a check. You punch in on Monday, you punch out on Friday, you get a check. So you go to work, you get a check. You go to work, you get a check. You go to work, you get a check. How many of y'all, honestly, if you didn't get it paid on payday at your jobs, would go back to work on the next Monday? Not many people. There's some loyal people that might give it 2 or 3, but you quit because that's the way we're programmed. If you don't get paid, it's not worth it. Quit, right? So we're trained, go to work, get a check, go to work, get a check, go to work, get a check. Network marketing is a little, and you have to do that for 40 to 50 years to even think about retiring. You probably still can. So that's your whole life cycle. Go to work, go to check, get a check, go to work, get a check. Network marketing is different, and you have to have this mindset. And if you get this mindset, you are going to win. Network marketing is work, 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 check. Work, 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 check. Work, work, check. Work, check. Then the magic happens. Check, work. Check, check, work. Check, 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 work. Check, 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 check. But because of our minds and the way we think we have to be, humans are creatures of instant gratification. Meaning if I'm going to put 5 hours a day into something, I want paid now. All you're doing is building for your future. You have to understand you're going to have to get wet if you want to see a rainbow. It's just all there is to it. If you're going to have to withstand a little bit of rain if you want to see a rainbow, and it's no different here. You're going to have to go through the learning curves. You're going to have to go through the personal development. You're going to have to go through all these things, and they're all different for everybody. Nobody's journey is the same. It never has been, never will be. This is your journey. You're on it now. If you're brand new here, commit to me right now today that you're going to stay consistent for at least 2 years before you even make a decision if this company is going to work for you or not. You can't just pay your auto ship for 2 years and not do anything. You have to do something. It is network marketing. It's not work marketing. You're going to have to do something to achieve results in the future. And that's the reality of this business. And if you do these things, you are on a 2 to 5 year retirement plan, not a 40 to 50 year retirement plan. And that's a promise I will make you. So 2 years from now, all the new people on this call, if you've plugged into the calls, you've talked to 3 to 4 people a day, you've helped the people sign up, get started, and you've repeated this process over and over again for 2 years, and you're still not happy, call me. You can call me whatever you want and tell me how wrong I was. But I've been doing this for 14 years, and I've never got that 2-year phone call. I've got a lot of phone calls that said, man, Chris, she was right. It took me 6 months to replace my income. It took me a year to be able to go full time. It took me 2 years to be able to go full time. But nobody's ever called and said, I attended the events. I did what the trainings told me to do. I plugged into the weekly calls. I talked to 3 to 4 people a day, and they failed. You understand there's a 100% success rate if you do the right things. And we're teaching you the right things. So you just have to have the mindset that you have to do the right things for a period of time, and you're going to be retired and successful. So that's what I would share with new people. We could go into an hour of how to get started, how to navigate the back office and all these different things, but none of that matters if your mind's not right. So get your mind right, and you're going to get your paychecks right. And we're going to go crush this thing all over the world with y'all around the next 2 to 5 years with everybody here. So that's my advice, Dale. Thank you guys all for being on. I can't wait for new markets launching. There's so many incredible things happening at My Daily Choice. Just plug in and go crush it because it's there for you. And I'll tell you this, I've been a student of this industry for almost 14 years now. I haven't ever joined companies, but I can write out compensation plans for other companies. I could do a presentation for probably 30 different network marketing companies right now because I know I stay a student of the industry. And I'm going to tell you this. If you've ever wanted to make it in network marketing, if you've had that dream, you've been in your 20 companies or 5 companies, or maybe this is your first company, If you can't do it here, you're not going to do it anywhere else. You're in the right place. Congratulations. You never have to invest in another starter pack in network marketing ever again. You've already done it. You're here. Now it's just time for you to plug in and go do those right things. And I can't wait for all of you, everybody's on this call, to see a whole bunch of success from all you guys. Love you guys. I can't wait to see you soon when we get out traveling. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Dale. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Hey, thanks, Chris. You always bring it when you come on my calls. And, I hope you guys feel the sincerity. We want you to succeed, okay? Both Chris and I know we've both been pretty blessed in what we've achieved in life so far. And, and I know I have this kind of mentality that, I kind of want to pay it back for all my good fortune. And we want you to succeed. So I'll be on this call again next Monday. I'm not going to tell you who, but I think we're going to have another a great speaker. And I've got a list of people that I'll just say a lot of people that I talked to at the meeting last weekend, the Mastermind. I talked to them and asked them if they would speak, and they said yes. So I'll let you guess who's going to come on. But there's going to be some great speakers coming on over the next few weeks, and you're going to be able to learn from the best. So having said all that, thanks for coming on. Love you all. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the flip side. So take care.